of how it's so hard to see the good if you're only seeing the bad. Like, there's so many people that struggle with what their version of success is because they're looking at someone else's. There's so many people that struggle with their world of relationship because they're judging theirs based off of someone else's, right? And when you're constantly in the space of not realizing or noticing your world, your reality, because you're living in what appears to be someone else's, well, your shit is never gonna be right. It's never gonna be right?
Yeah,
Like if I'm looking at everybody's relationship with their father and I'm going, I want that. Well, I'm not embracing the world of good that came from my dad. I could have went down the road that my dad did. I could have easily been wrapped into the same world of, drugs, gangs, violence, stick-up boys, right? Like embracing the hood at the highest level. Not that I don't, because I do. That's where I'm from. But I could have embraced it at a much higher level and followed in the footsteps of my father, because that's what he did. But I was able to realize the mistakes he made. I was able to go, well, I don't want to go down that street because I see the consequences of it. That's a choice that I made, right? Some don't make that choice. By the way, no disrespect to those that haven't. It's to each his own. You do what you want based off of who you've seen or what you want to be true to. Live your life. Ultimately, we get one. Live it for you. Live it to the best space and place that you feel you can win at. That's my motto. I'm not here to tell you right from wrong. I'm saying I identify things differently and I make decisions based off of examples that I can look at as not bad, but ones that if I didn't have, I could have made that mistake. So without a lesson that was intentional, my dad's giving me lessons. Right? It's not intentional. My dad never said, I went to jail so you didn't have to. He never said that. But hey, man, seeing you in jail, Dad.
That's my wisdom,
Well, that just made me realize I don't want to go there. Hearing how you talk about it, hearing how many times you went. Well, I don't want to go there. Seeing what drugs did to you, and you talking and telling the stories, what you lost, what you had, what you don't. Well, I don't want to do that. Okay, you know what? I'm going to embrace my father. I'm going to embrace this imperfect human being, because I'd be damned if he's not positioning me for personal success in just understanding what I should and shouldn't do. And it seems so logical. It seems like common sense, but sometimes it's not that easy for some. It's not that easy.
Yeah, and sometimes what I'm hearing is sometimes the greatest wisdom is unsaid and unintentional. Right? Like sometimes the greatest wisdom is not what someone said to you, and sometimes the greatest wisdom is knowing what not to do. I think we think of it as like knowledge or learning means someone's telling me what to do and they told me the right thing. Sometimes it's looking and saying, well, I know what not to do now. And what I'm fascinated though, and I think you're going to give people a lot of hope listening to you today, because when you say that you were complacent growing up, and I consider you today to probably be one of the hardest working people in entertainment from what I see and observe, and when I've watched your interviews or listened to you, you work super hard, you give it your all, you're invested from a mission, purpose point of view. But hey, wait a minute, this person says I was complacent growing up, and it's never one moment, it's never one thing, so I don't even want to simplify it with that kind of a question. What were the shifts that needed to take place in order for you to go from being complacent to being one of the hardest working people who's committed to something?
I'm big on just like logic, right? And there's this like moment that I had where I just kept saying, why now? Like, why? Right? Russell Westbrook is a good friend of mine. I tease him all the time because the one thing that he has that I wish I would have had, or I wish I got to first, is why not? Right? And it's so genius. It's so genius. It's so simple, but yet so profound. You don't just have to have one job. And working any job, and whether that job is a 9 to 5 or whether it's half a day, full day, whatever it is, you don't just have to do one thing. You can do a lot of different things. But there's this weird mindset that a lot of people have that you can only do one thing. And when I realized I don't have to just do one thing. I can do a lot of different things. You can be good at a lot of different things. But you don't know that you're good at a lot of different things unless you try a lot of different things. And when I looked around and I kind of just realized how the world goes around, it's all based off of creativity. It's all based off of ideas. It's all based off of thought-provoking, then groundbreaking opportunities. But the simplest things have come from an idea. From your chair, to your table, to your wheel, to your light bulb, to your car, to your plane, to your helicopter, to the idea of a hotel, from hotels going to a place of people renting out houses and Airbnbs, to taxis, to then people driving their own cars. And these are all ideas. And the groundbreaking thought that I had in realizing all these ideas is that these ideas have the potential to touch the sky if a person believes that they can. If a person believes that they can, well, your world of idea changes. Your reason for getting up, your reason for putting your feet on the ground every morning, it can change if you believe that the purpose that you now have and that you're working towards, based off of an idea, is something that you can succeed in. I grasped that understanding and I attached it to everything that I tried to do. I did not set out to be the actor, the director, the writer, the producer, the CEO, the chairman, the advisor. I did not set out to do any of these things. And I want to make it very clear, I don't have the educational background for any of these things. What I had was an idea to try. And after you get an idea to try, what I had was the patience to sit and listen. Be a sponge. Learn. Figure it out. And figuring it out, there was another side of not being okay with the incomplete version of figuring out the thing that I didn't do. Well, why did I go ask all these questions if I'm not going to try it now that I know how?
Yeah.
All right, well, let me try it. The only consequence is failure. By the way, not trying is failing.
Yeah, well said.
I want to make that very clear.
Well said, yeah.
Not trying is failing. There's a lot of things that people can't do simply because you've never tried to do it. And I'm not saying that you should try everything. I'm not saying that you're supposed to do everything. I'm saying that for me, when someone says something and I go, no, I never did that. I have to have a reason for why I've never done it and a justification. If you ask me something and I go, no, and you just say why, and I go, that's not good enough for me.
Yeah.
I like to have a reason why. And that's the foundation that I stand on. That's how I built this mindset, this level of energy to go ahead. Rhyme and reason within my why. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, it's the Russ again. I love you to death, my brother. It's the one that got away from me. And you're a genius for saying it because it's so simple, but yet so profound.
Yeah.
So everything that I'm doing or that I'm attempting to do is because I started so much and I'm just trying to finish it.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that I'm 43 and I still got energy behind what it is that I'm trying to do.